"Let's not misunderstand each other on purpose," she said. "I'll see you when you get back from Silver City." Then she turned and walked away toward the back stairs of the rooming house. When Pandora went inside, the sun went behind a cloud and the day turned cold and gloomy. It stayed like that for quite a while. Friday morning broke clear and bright, with just enough bite to the air so you knew the season of spring was not yet a cinch bet. Ice had formed on the pools and puddles, and I could see my breath as I walked on down to Walt's livery. 20 minutes later I had packed my bedroll on the bay and had saddled Rutherford. The buckskin must have been half asleep as I led him out onto the street. He spooked when he stepped on an icy patch, breaking through with a sound like a pistol shot. He did a nervous little quick-step, rolled his eyes, and looked so embarrassed I had to laugh aloud. I slid my Winchester into its scabbard, swung up onto the saddle, and struck out on the road to Silver City. It was 20 minutes past 2 in the afternoon when I reached the outskirts of town. Minutes later, I left my horses with the hostler at the Blue Dog livery and walked west up Plata Street to the old part of town. Silver City had begun its life as a hell-for-leather mining camp. Like most such places, it had started out haphazard and careless. In the beginning, tents and cabins were scattered every which way along the winding gulch that was to become its main street. But as the town grew, the settlement had taken on a more orderly air. Developers surveyed the camp, laid out streets and city blocks, and replaced the ramshackle with the solid and pretentious. Town lots of that day tended to be narrow but deep, no more than 20 or 30 feet wide in some cases, but extending back at right angles to the street for 120 feet or more. Buildings stood cheek by jowl with one another, facing the street with highfalutin facades and sharing walls with their neighbors. Before the ore played out and the boom at Silver City ended, mining men had built some grand buildings there. In one of these, above the post office, U.S. Marshal Chance Ridgway had his headquarters. When I came to the doorway that led to his office, I turned in off the street, climbed the creaky stairs to the second floor, and opened the door. The big room at the top of the stairs was just as I remembered it, and yet somehow not quite. Against the north wall, U.S. Marshal Chance Ridgway sat behind his cluttered desk, his silver hair shining in the light. I took out my pa's old pocket watch and snapped open its cover. I looked at the Marshal and grinned. "Sorry I'm early, Marshal," I said. "According to my timepiece, I'm not due here for another minute and a half."